Hi, everybody. My name is Brad Nordstrom. Welcome back to the MPF Podcast. We're live here at Maximum Performance and Fitness in West Fargo.
And I'm Levi Nordstrom, college student majoring in communications at NDSU.
Speaking of communications, how was your radio show this week?
It was pretty interesting. We were talking about the Battle of the Unks, is what it's called.
The Unks?
So we had Joe Flacco go off against Aaron Rodgers, both 40-plus years old, starting at quarterback. And that was a very impressive game last night.
I honestly didn't even watch it. I don't know who
I didn't either, but the Bengals won. But
Wow.
I just kind of kept up with it every once in a while. I highly recommend you guys go and listen to it. I'll leave a link below. We basically talk about football the previous week and the week upcoming every Wednesday from 3 to 4 o'clock.
Awesome. Good deal. What are we going to talk about today, Levi? I guess we're going to have a little bit of fun today.
Well, we're going to be talking about typical people you see at the gym, along with maybe some fun stories later on.
Wow, this one's going to be a fun one. Now, here's the interesting thing about Maximum Performance and Fitness is what I would call a training facility. So all of our clients are guided when they come here. So it doesn't matter which program you're involved in, you're being guided. It's not a come do your own thing type gym. So for the most part, we've got a lot of similar personalities. I mean, MPF was built on referrals. So a lot of similar personalities, but hey, yeah, there's always a few interesting, colorful characters we can chat about.
We have some fun characters that we're going to be discussing, and we're going to go top down, starting with the alpha.
The alpha. What in the world is the alpha? The alpha is the client that has to be the first one to the gym and the first one to finish the workout. And trust me, we've got a couple of them.
Yep.
And it actually makes me chuckle. I'm pretty anal about my time. So if I'm opening, which I am opening 95% of the time, I'm here by 4:45 to get the gym unlocked and lights on and everything good to go. There are multiple times where I've got at least one, if not two pickups sitting in the parking lot waiting to go, waiting to get in and banging the door down and getting ready to go. I'm like, well, just give me a minute. Let me get the freaking door unlocked, get the lights on, and then come on in. So, yes, we do have a few alphas in the gym.
They've got to impress the scouts watching.
Exactly. The scouts, I got cameras, so,
Yep.
you know, if I get any of them that are calling up looking for information on certain people, I can provide that.
The Whistling Dixie client. This is an interesting one.
I've got a couple of them that they come at 5 a.m. One of them, I kid you not, 90% of the time is whistling as soon as he walks in the door. Mm-hmm. And like, how can you be so happy and excited to be here at that time of the morning? And it just, I don't understand it, but you know what? Give me a little bit of what you have so I can kind of perk it up a little bit. So yeah, I got a Whistling Dixie client, and then I got another one that comes in also at 5 that he's always in a good mood too. And he's like, hey, what's up, Brad? How you doing? And I ask him, and his response is always great. You know, we're having some fun here. But to be honest with you, when you've got the Whistling Dixie client, that helps perk everybody up.
It's like the guy on the end of the bench in a basketball team.
Exactly.
You know, he's going to keep the team together. He's going to bridge the gap between the alphas and the hooded AirPod type people. Speaking of that, the hooded / AirPod client that doesn't say a word.
There, you know what? We do have a couple of them. We don't have a ton that come in and just stick their AirPods in because you have to hear the timer and understand when to switch. And usually those actually only have them in one ear. Mm-hmm. And I've asked multiple times, like, hey, you don't like our music or what's the deal? And for the most part, what they are is they're actually listening to podcasts. So they could be actually listening to this podcast next week while they're working out and be like, wait a minute, I'm the AirPod guy?
We're talking to you.
Or gal. Yeah, I'm talking to you. But so, yeah, and then there's a handful that they just put their hood up and you just know, well, I guess we're not talking today.
Yep. They got to lock in for their max.
You're right. They locked in, and hey, that's all cool. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes the world go around.
I don't really know how somebody can like do like a heavy lift with a podcast in their ear. I feel like that's more of like a cardio calm type thing.
They have it on the whole time, but you're right. They'll put it on during their cardio, and I don't have AirPods, so I don't know how they all work. But I've even seen them. It looks like they're talking themselves, but I actually think they're talking on the phone.
So with AirPods, there's a lot of nice features. If you have the Pros, like there's noise cancellation, but there's also enhanced like hearing.
Oh well, that I could use.
You can talk to Siri. Siri can read your notifications.
Oh.
There's a lot of different things, and you can like tell Siri to like skip the song or something. So
I just assumed they were talking to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, they might be singing a song or something. You never know.
That's possible.
They're getting in the zone. I actually wanted to ask a quick question. When it comes to like hearing or listening to music or a podcast when you're doing like cardio, does that in a way like help you get through cardio easier or like distract your mind a little bit?
That's actually a great question. I think it goes hand in hand. I mean, meaning for some people, absolutely. And then for others, I don't think it matters. Now, for example, for myself personally, I probably couldn't tell you what songs were playing the whole cardio session. Mm-hmm. And it's probably because I'm trying to catch my breath. Yeah. But I don't hear music usually. I maybe will hear it lifting, like in between sets, I'll kind of catch a song and I might sing a little bit. But usually during cardio, I don't hear it. It's almost like, I think back, and I don't know, you can attest to this or not, but when I was playing sports in high school, like the crowds, I never even heard them. I didn't even know they were there half the time.
I didn't really experience many crowds in my time. JV crowds didn't get really riled up.
Right, exactly.
Sophomore year, but yeah, I guess you don't really pay attention to that stuff on the outside. You're kind of locked in, focused. But just a kind of a quick question, because I feel like that's something that people wonder almost. Like,
oh, for sure. Does
this help or maybe even hinder your workout a little bit? I don't know.
I think it's really dependent on the person. I know that some people, like for example, Fridays are what we call flannel Fridays. So there's plenty of country music playing, and there's a lot of clients that just do not like country music. So then they sit and complain about the music and this and that, and I'm one where it's like, you know what? It doesn't really matter what you have on. Just friggin' go. Just get the job done. I do believe that for sure some people, they need a certain type of music to get locked in, so to speak. And if that means throwing the earbuds in and giving it, I really don't care. Just, give it the effort and you'll get the results.
Speaking of giving effort, the multitasking plan, really giving the effort.
The multitasker. Working while working out. That one I've never understood, and I can think of a couple people in particular that do it. One person I would say is pretty good about doing it in between stations. Well, not cardio, but like lifting, where I might notice somebody, maybe doing an email or responding to some work questions. And then another one where it's like, dude, are we going to work out here or are we going to work? I mean, let's pick one. Yeah. And I'm fine with it. Just pick one. But there is definitely the multitasking client. I don't know how they do it, but they sure try.
I've definitely seen it many times here. It's a sight to see. It's very entertaining.
But I get it. And the thing that's kind of cool is I know some jobs out there do have the flexibility where they can work remote, and it's great for our clients because they can come in at these random times, 9 a.m. or 8:15 when everybody else has to be at the office. They're actually in here at the gym working out, and I'm cool with it. So if you got to multitask and get your workout in, more power to you. Get your butt in here and get it done.
This kind of goes back to the music style of like hindering a workout, maybe distracting you a little bit. In what way is it like fine to multitask, or in like at what point does it go too far to where it's really affecting the time you spend here?
I think where it is fine is probably during the strength side of it, because like I always say is, the cardio portion of our workouts they kind of are a race. Let's go. Let's work hard. And then once we get over to the strength side, it's like, hey, you know what? Catch a breather once in a while. This isn't the race. So while somebody is catching a breather, and if they need to respond to an email and it takes them a minute and a half, I mean, that's fine. It's where people are trying to multitask work-wise while doing cardio. That's where I think that, let's do one or the other here. We're going to hinder our ability to get our heart rate even up. Let's pick one. Do your answer your questions you have. Then how about we put your phone down for 15, 20 minutes, get your cardio done, and then check your emails or whatever you might have between your lifting, your cardio and your lift, and then head over and start lifting. If you got to respond here and there, then, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like when it comes to lifting, isn't it like 2 minutes is the ideal recovery time for your bigger lifts?
Yeah, and it all depends on what we're doing here. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's time in between. I've seen people rush through the lift, and to me, it's like, it's going to work for a little while, but eventually you're going to stall out fast. You're not going to make any gains because you're not stressing your body much.
Now, the complaining client.
Thankfully, to be honest with you, we do not have very many complainers. I can think of a few people in particular that come in and the first thing they do is when they come around the corner, they look at the screen and, oh, crap, we got to do that today. And then they start, Brad, John, what are we doing here? I'm like, holy smokes, just chillax, let's get ready to go. And it's constant, but yet it's almost kind of comical because you expect it. You know who it is.
Yeah.
So they are definitely the complaining client.
It's like if you're complaining, likely it's because the workout makes you work hard.
Yeah, it makes you work hard. I'm like, weird. I think that's what we're supposed to do here. We need to work hard.
This kind of goes along with the complaining guy. How about the screamer? Not on the negative side, but the screamers are grunting, every rep. Do you have some screamers around here?
We don't have a lot of screamers. Not a lot of grunters. I mean, yeah, you might have to grunt on a final rep or two once in a while, but it's not a...
There's no echo coming through the gym.
There's no echoes coming around the gym. And we don't have the lunker alarm or whatever, the Planet Fitness they kind of talk about, the no grunting zones. We don't have that. I mean, if you got to grunt and get through a rep or two, I really don't care. Give it all you got. But we don't have really that one person that sticks out is like, holy smokes, dude. You having childbirth here or what's going on?
The social butterfly is kind of a funny one. It's almost like a multitasking client in a way. Basically, they talk more than they lift.
There are a handful of social butterflies, and I totally agree. You're right. It's kind of like the multitasker, but this guy or gal isn't exactly working.
Yep.
They are trying to get conversations started with somebody. It could be anything from, hey, how's the weather, to like your easy icebreaker, to maybe they work together or whatnot. But I can think of one person in particular that the social butterfly, the guy honestly works out a ton, in great shape. He would lose track of where he's at in the gym. And I kid you not, I bet he would do the same exercise for 10 minutes in a row. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I just looked and you were doing that. He was one of those guys too that was always in a good mood and fun to have around. And he was the one that would always kind of attract to a certain exercise and just stay there and then talk to the people that came around.
Speaking of social, I think it's probably pretty fun to talk to different people around here because, I mean, with owning a gym, I'm sure you've met different personalities, a lot of people with different jobs, maybe some unique ones. Do you have any jobs that you were surprised that you seen that came across the gym at any point?
Boy.
Maybe a fun, creative job.
That's a great question. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but you're absolutely right, is that you run into a lot of different career types out there. I know every single one of our clients, which I think is pretty cool when they come in. And I can't tell you what everybody does, obviously, but I can tell you what a lot of them do. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So there's a lot of, once again, this was built off of referrals. So you get a lot of like-minded people. So anytime you get entrepreneurs in, that's what I enjoy, because I always feel like you can take something from somebody else's business and apply it to yours. It doesn't have to be the same business. And so to me, that's what I enjoy, the learning aspect of it, is just to see what other people do, and then you kind of start to like, okay, well, what did you do to grow? Maybe we can tag team and do some self-promoting back and forth and co-promoting or whatnot, and that part of it's probably the coolest thing.
I feel like with having a lot of like-minded people, you create unity within like a community. I feel like that helps create a strong core
Yep.
for a business, especially a small business where you're trying to get on your feet. I mean, this is kind of a topic that we can talk about in the future in depth with like owning a small business, but like, how did you kind of get on your feet when it came to like getting clients?
Now we're going way back, and yeah, we should definitely do that. We'll do a little more in depth on this one in the future, but okay, so I'm going to think back. When I first started in this career, I started out in clinical exercise physiology. I got into the collegiate strength and conditioning, and then I went into the collegiate wellness setting. So I had a number of different avenues that I was in. When I determined that, you know what, I'm going to go independent and start my own business, I went back and talked to people I knew. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Here's the type of program I'm going to do. I'd love you to try. And literally, MPF was built from the ground up. We started outdoors. I had a little snowmobile trailer filled with old dumbbells, which I still have in the gym, which is fun. A sled, an old rickety sled, which has went to the junkyard. A sledgehammer, a tire, a rope, and just created that circuit. And it literally just slowly built it up. And then they started telling their friends and so forth. So I think the biggest thing is when you're first starting is you have to, unless you're very good at marketing, you really want to start with people you know first. And then they'll tell people, and you just keep growing.
It kind of goes along with social media in a way. The best way to get a strong start, especially when it comes to like YouTube, just get subscribers from people you know. Because then you at least get some guaranteed views coming in, which helps push the video out even farther. Let's go back to the stereotypes. The guy who always skips leg day. This is a very common one on social media in general.
Right.
But is this pretty common in the real world?
In the real world, I would say yes and no. We do have guys and gals that skip leg day. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I think for the most part here, probably one of the reasons that they skip leg day is they're scared. They don't think they can do it. They think it's too hard, which is totally false. You definitely can do it. And Melt offers a progression. It isn't just, hey, we're going balls to the wall today. There's a progression, and we can offer that. And I think that, yes, there's a couple of people that have skipped leg day, and you only see them on uppers. And then, to be honest, I can think of one person in particular that did only upper body for many years. He's been coming since we were outside. And then I don't even know what clicked. I think he started realizing as he was getting older that leg strength is actually more important than you realize. And now he comes 5 days a week, some days, sometimes 6 days a week, comes Saturdays as well. And he's like 60, 61. And he does leg day all the times now. He never did before, does them now. And he's all about the lifelong strength things that you should be doing, which I think is another topic we'll get into later on. Like how long can you dead hang, your farmer's carries for time. And there's some certain standards out there, and he's like all about, I need to meet those standards, which tells him that, hey, I should be able to live longer. That's the cool thing about like MPF. Yeah, there's going to be always a handful, and it's kind of a chuckle that, you know, they got that big, strong upper body, but lower body wise, it's like, holy smokes, can they even do a body weight squat? Mm-hmm. But we don't have a ton. It's more likely that our clients will come on Tuesday's leg day, and then Thursday's the quietest day of the week because they don't want to come a second day.
Yep. Sore, they're still recovering. Yep. For me, I always just think of like it's modifiable.
Yep.
Like lower body, I mean even upper body is modifiable. Like I think of people that only have one leg or, you know, one arm. You've experienced that firsthand. You can modify it. So regardless of your situation, there's a way to handle a certain lift.
Well, and that is so true. And you talk about, you know, we did have a fellow that has been in with the one arm, and he lost it in the war. And to be honest, the very first time he came in, I was kind of like freaked out because I'm like, oh crap, you know, I got to think about how I'm going to modify this stuff for this guy. And to be honest with you, he had such a great attitude that it was, I can do that. Burpees, I'll do burpees. One arm, he's doing them with one arm. Planks, he's planking with one arm. If you follow him on the Versaclimber, you might have to readjust your handles because you got one handle out of whack and then the other one's not been moved. You're like, oh crap, that's weird. Who did that? I'm like, well, you got to see who you're following. But there's just few things that he couldn't. I mean, jump rope. You can get adaptive jump ropes where you can actually jump rope with the one arm. I don't have one, but we just modify it. We do something different. And to get a client like that to come in is inspiring, not only for me, but for everybody in the gym, because it really makes you understand, well, holy smokes, if that person can do it, why can't I do it? That's what's fun about like this type of facility is that, you know what, when we're doing these workouts, we're in this together and we do this together. We're warming up together and it inspires people. I've got a guy that comes in at 76 years old Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he does strength training both times. He just does the strength training side of it because he still plays hockey. Mm-hmm. He literally plays hockey, and they play tournaments.
That's crazy.
And he's like, yeah, I played pretty late last night. I was pretty tired because I give him some grief about being late. And he
late is 10:30.
Yeah, right.
In bed by 11.
But he's at the gym by 7 a.m. Yeah. And he's just, it is so cool to have folks like that because it makes you realize, hey, you know what? First of all, hey, I can do this. And then B, I need to keep doing this. This is a lifestyle.
Kind of on topic of training together, let's talk about people who only train with others. They're like, they got their bros and they come in. I'm assuming we've got some groups that walk in together.
We got some gym bros for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, and I kind of feel like I'm kind of a gym bro. I've got some people that I really enjoy working out with because A, they challenge me. Mm-hmm. And then B, it's like, you know what, I like to beat them once in a while and show them that, hey, this old grandpa can still kick your butt if I need to. For sure. And the gym bros, I mean, that's it can be kind of a funny, goofy type stereotype, but it's also like, you know, for others, like these are the people that challenge me. These are the people that push me. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Now, I have no problem pushing myself and going at a different time. But if I have the ultimate situation, like, yeah, I'm gonna go with my gym bros.
Now, there is a flip side to this where, like, your gym bros are not as strong as you are, and they don't push you as far.
True.
And then you don't get stronger in a way. Like, I think of people lifting, going back to high school, people lifting with just guys that aren't on the same strength level when it comes to, like, squats or even bench press. And they're not pushing themselves because they're with a group of people that just might not be on that level, and they don't want to have to add on the weight and then take it off for the next person. So I feel like there is a flip side to that where you got to be kind of cautious and careful in what, you know, and watch what you're doing compared to what you can do.
Or you get hurt because you're like trying to keep up and you can't keep up. I would agree with that for sure. And I think that for the most part, you know, we're all adults, and some of us are, you know, obviously older adults. I would say our clientele, to be honest with you, is probably 75% between 35 and 55 years old. So our egos are kind of pushed out the door a little bit. So we know, like, hey, I can't quite keep up, but so just adjust the weights. It's not a big deal. And that works actually really well. And then, of course, I got somebody usually chirping in my ear. It's like, come on, keep up. You know, what's the deal? You ready to go today? And but that makes me better, and I enjoy it.
Speaking of the people who can't keep up, let's talk about the PLPs and the Pukers.
The PLPs, that's the parking lot pukers. There are a few of those.
Yep.
It's usually, to be honest with you, the first one or two workouts. They're probably nervous as heck.
Yep.
They haven't done anything for months, maybe years, and they get done, and it's like they can't handle it, and they go outside and puke. We've had a couple recently. And then, of course, you know, everybody else are like trying to figure out who was it? Who puked? So next thing you know, you got rumors flying around. We just like to make up names because, you know, it wasn't them and have a little fun with it. But
it's like the drama in the office.
Yeah, it's like the drama in the office. You just got to poke a little fun here and there. Yeah, like I said, yeah, usually it's one of those first times, and a lot of times it's from nerves. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's always fine. And we've got some athletes that have done the same. I mean, I'll be I've got a few that I'm doing conditioning with right now that they'll know, like, hey, I got to go puke. I'm like, all right, well, just make sure you make the toilet because you're going to clean it up. Mm-hmm. But there's a handful. Like, we don't have a ton, but like I said, it's usually within the first week, the first couple sessions, and it's usually the morning people, typically. Or if it's an afternoon person, they've maybe had too big a lunch and it's not sitting very well, and then you got really a mess in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Ick.
Probably the most frustrating, I would assume, is the last one. The chronically late client.
You know, Levi, I think you and I are pretty similar where if we got an appointment at 10 o'clock, we're probably there at least 10 minutes early.
Yep.
I think back when I was a kid and my mom would be picking me up after a football practice or whatever, and if she was a little bit late, I used to get so mad. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know why. I don't know what was instilled in me over the years, but I cannot stand being late to something. Yes, we have chronically late clients. There's some that I get extremely frustrated with. If it's a few minutes late, I get it. I mean, you got kids you're dealing with, trying to get them out the door or whatever. It's when you're supposed to be there at a certain time and it's 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late. What the world? Yeah. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Don't be that client. It's you're wasting your own time, really.
I bite my lip, and we might have 20 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I'll give you the best 20 minutes I can give you. And they're cool. When they're cool, I'm cool. If somebody expects me to go past that time to give you more time, that's when it's not cool. Because it's like, I feel like, hey, you're not respecting my time's not as important as your time. Mm-hmm. And that's where it really gets frustrating. Thankfully, there's very few times where I've had to deal with that aspect of it. Usually they understand, hey, I get it. I got 15 minutes. It's my mistake. Can we just do what we can? And I'm like, yep, I can do that. That's not a problem.
It's time to go into the storytelling.
Ooh, story time. I like stories.
Bedtime stories right here, right now. Play them for your kids tonight.
Bedtime stories with Brad.
Yep. I'm going to let you take the reins because I don't have any stories because I don't run a business.
Well, I've got a handful. We have a lot of fun here, but there's a few things that stick out. I guess number one, when Ryan Finley used to work with me, we used to do funny videos, and you'll have to check them out. They're on our YouTube channel. We did one of them called Sexy Legs. That is hilarious because he was able to add in sexy legs instead of just sexy legs. It was sexy legs, and it's just we're just demonstrating a stability ball leg curl. I mean, it's so funny. We did I think it might have been like 2012 when the Mayan calendar was basically talking about end times, and I think the world was supposed to end, and so we did a video on a workout to prepare you for the end of the world. Yep. And that one, that's a great one. So we actually had a lot of fun making videos. So you got to go on the YouTube channel and search those old videos up. They probably go back, like I say, right around that 2012, 2013, 14 time frame. Check those out. But one in particular, and I've got a couple, but one in particular that stands out was in the old gym. We're in the warehouse. It was an 8 o'clock group. There was small, probably 3 or 4 people in there. And I'm demonstrating a stability ball glute bridge. So what that is I'm laying with my shoulders on the ball and a weight on my hips, and I'm going to thrust my hips up and hold it. I lay down, shoulders on the ball. I thrust my hips up, and the ball burst. One of the gals that was in there, I can still hear her laughing to this day. Because she's got that cackle, and if she's listening to this show or watching it, she knows exactly who she is. The ball burst, and I was so mad. Mm-hmm. I was thankful it was me and not a client, first of all, because that would not have been good. I emailed that company. I'm like, these balls are burst resistant, and mine burst on me. It didn't just go, pff, it went pop, and I was on my back. And so, of course, I don't know if there was something sharp under there or what, but that was quite comical. I've had a couple hair incidences. One of them, a client was on the VersaClimber. I have no idea how this happened. Got off the VersaClimber and I think used the handle and had one handle up, and then as she was getting off, kind of moved it and had her head turned and got her hair caught in the chain. Like, what the heck? Another one was doing rope crunches with the stability ball and got her hair caught in the carabiner clamp. And when she went to get off, probably one of the funnier ones with hair is I am spotting a bench press. She had a long ponytail and her hair was hanging underneath the bench. I step up to spot. She finishes her set. I help her rack it, and she goes to sit up, and I'm standing on her hair. And she sat up, and then boom, her hair went back, and just, ow! I'm like, whoops, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, the gym is not hair proof.
It's not. They're just freak things you wouldn't think would happen. You know, there are some minor funny ones where, you know, somebody's doing a rope sled drag, and for whatever reason, whoever tied the rope didn't tie it right, so the rope came untied when they were doing it. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they're on their butt. We have a great time, but those are definitely the funny stories that stick out.
Anything else to add before we start to wrap up this podcast? Episode 3.
This was fun. I enjoyed it, and it kind of made me stop and really just appreciate the clients that we have at MPF. Of course, you got to have some characters. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes life fun, to have some characters, and just makes me appreciate the hard-working clients that we do have. These are just a select few, but we've got a true blue-collar client base that is so much fun to be around, so much fun to learn from, and just so much fun to celebrate progress and gains and celebrate clients reaching their goals with.
Talking about the clientele, we have a shout out. We had a comment on our last post from a client by the name of Matt Warren. He said, really enjoying these podcasts, great content and perspectives on overall health and wellness. Keep up the great work. We appreciate that, of course. And this is the shout out of the week.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that.
Now we have reached the ending of episode 3 of the MPF podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe. Of course, we're here to give you guys good fitness advice every Sunday. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed and put a comment below of any questions you have. And we will see you guys in the next episode.